Brenda does a great job.
Yep.
Everything she takes care of very well.
Hot lunch, I haven't had one of those in a while, Ms. Highland.
No, no complaints from my kids, so it'll be good.
She's just grinning from ear to ear on how the kitchen works for her.
Betty, there's the happy crew there.
She tells me she's a happy cook is a good cook.
Yeah.
Negotiations, I think for negotiations, Mike, that we have coming.
We'll have certified coming up here. I would imagine they'll be out there notice here probably next month or April. Tend to not really get that moving to the summer anyways because of the end of the school year, but we'll probably be noticed. They're checking a few items right now.
Meet and confer. Ms. Heigl was involved in that one along with myself.
Yeah, thank you.
We did discuss or go over the school calendar during that meeting, and we'll be discussing the school calendar coming up here, I believe, in one of our new business items. Is there anything else that we were covering there that I missed? And that was the majority of what we had. Okay. Scholarship. Anything, Ms. Heigl?
No.
Policy?
Oh, wait. Our Dollars for Scholar chow mein dinner is tomorrow. So everybody come and fill up on chow mein.
And then go to boys
And then
basketball
go to
game.
boys basketball game.
Perfect for Valentine's Day.
Right on.
That's a great thing to do.
Huh?
Date night.
Well,
Right, let's go.
Romantic.
Perfect.
Gotta find somebody to take care of the kids.
There you go. Policy, I think we've got one policy item coming up here.
Yep, final reading.
Okay. Okay, policy administration action to approve non-resident agreements. District student count as of 2/8 of 13 for K through 12 is
413.
And that is up one. Right?
As of right.
One from last time.
Was it 412 last month or 413?
I think it's 412.
I think you're right.
Do we have any that we need to approve or
Nothing right now, but you probably have one coming here next month
from where?
for next year. One of
Oh, for next year.
Yeah, they have to apply a certain. They gave me their stuff in January dated, but we're waiting on this one for something else to happen.
I did believe we were at 412 last. Final reading and action to approve policy 704 fixed assets. Do I need to read the whole thing or
No,
just the purpose?
you could just purpose and then this part right here because this is the month that we had to change it.
Policy 704, development and maintenance of an inventory of fixed assets and a fixed asset accounting system. The purpose of this policy is to provide for the development and the maintenance of an inventory of the fixed assets of the school district and the establishment and maintenance of a fixed asset accounting system. Under capital asset threshold, it is the policy of this district that an item be considered for capitalization must have a cost of $1,000 or greater to meet the district capitalization threshold. The district will maintain a listing of technology equipment costing less than $1,000 for insurance and tracking purposes. However, those items will not be capitalized. I guess my understanding of this is the
More of an
board
audit. It's an
approval
audit
over
thing.
1,000.
Yeah, that's why.
Okay. And do I have a motion to approve policy 704?
I'll make the motion.
Okay. Is there a second? I'll second it. Is there any further discussion? No further discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous.
Pass it back down. I will send out you the electronic copy for your books then.
Do you not have any old business? How about personnel issues? Do you have any personnel issues, Mike?
No,
School finance issues?
nothing right now of either of those.
Your new business, resolution directing the administration to make recommendations for reductions of programs and positions as reasons therefore. And this is the one we just do the board.
You have to go through that legal, so
every
something happens.
year, legally, so that he can maneuver staff around. Okay, resolution directing the administration to make recommendations for reductions in programs and positions and reasons therefore. Whereas the financial condition of the school district dictates that the school board must reduce expenditures immediately, and whereas there has been a reduction in student enrollment, and whereas this reduction in expenditure or decrease in student enrollment must include discontinuance of programs and positions or curtailment of programs, and whereas a determination must be made as to which teachers' contracts must be terminated and not renewed, and which teachers may be placed on unrequested leaves of absences without pay or fringe benefits in effecting discontinuance of positions. Be it involved by the school board of Buchanan School District number 424 as follows. That the school board hereby directs the superintendent of schools and administration to consider discontinuance of programs or positions and make recommendations to the school board for the discontinuance of programs, curtailment of programs, discontinuance of positions, or curtailment of positions. I will introduce the following resolution and move for its adoption. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, and this will require, you want a voice vote on this, correct?
What's that? Actually, roll call. It
Roll
has
call,
a video for,
right.
but that's just a listing. If you look on there.
Is there any further discussion on this item? Okay, we'll go by roll call vote. Ms. Heigl?
Yes.
Mr. Radke?
Yes.
Ms. Kylo?
Yes.
I vote yes. Mr. Klitzky?
Yes.
Mr. Mocknail?
Yes.
Okay, resolution is passed. Action to approve seeking quotes for lawn service for 2013 and to be reviewed at the March meeting. Do I have a motion to approve seeking for lawn care quotes?
I'll make that motion.
Michael makes the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mocknail. Is there any further discussion? No further discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, action to approve the 2013-2014 school calendar.
Yeah, you guys take a look at, we did meet and confer, went through a few items, we had to make some changes on the proposed ones. Mr. Schmidt and I, then, TV's on,
Mr. McNulty, was something that was sent out that I didn't get?
no, we just met here.
And then we're required by the state to have a certain number of students with students, so we're kind of.
Yeah, it goes by hours now, and then of course, the biggest part is your master agreement with the staff, and they're never gonna add more even though we've asked. Okay.
You have a corrupted file.
This was his stuff.
Mr.
right
Schmidt,
there. It's like,
you're gonna have to help him.
Well, let me get it out of there.
Control Alt Delete.
There, we just
Oh.
moved over there.
Perfect.
Okay, just the general idea is so you have it there. This is the one that would go out on the website. We have a different one we give for the teachers and stuff that actually calculates days and so forth. The only changes we really had from this calendar, conferences, well, it won't let me do anything. Sheesh. Hey Jeremy, you better have this happen? It says I have a corrupt file all of a sudden. It won't let me close or get out of here. I mean, it will not let me do it. Never had that happen. Usually hit okay, you're supposed to be able to get out of
Is
here.
it on the server?
No,
Like, is this file on the
No,
server?
it's only
That's
on
what
there.
I'm saying, that's what we have.
Yeah, I'll just make, we did have one change. We kept conferences at 3:30, excuse me, we went from 4 to 8 to 3:30 to 7:30. That was something we worked with, the staff didn't want the break. They said they'd rather go right into them. They pretty much clear out by 7:30 anyways. We did move a couple of the dates around on them from, I think we had in the split weeks, we're moving the same week, went back to the same week, and then the Friday is the, it's called the day off. They get the kind of the day they get off from, I think, 2 days of conferences in a week. We had that a couple years ago. This year we split it up. Now we were going back to that, which is not a big deal. They just got their day off later before, or later this year, but that's not made any change there. Mr. Schmidt and I did add, we're going to work with Howard Lake on some stuff with assessment and ties that we've been both working on. It's one of the things we were sharing 2 staff development days. One of them is on the 27th of August, which is one of our normal staff development days. And the other one is on February 14th next year, I believe, yeah, Valentine's Day, where we will actually be having both staffs working together. One of our biggest reasons for this is because we have such small departments when it comes to assessments and curriculum and sharing and everything, and they're one bigger than us only. This allows our staff now, who are one department staffs, to have somebody actually sit down and do something with that they can share. Because a lot of times we just don't have anybody to share things with. Mr. Schmidt will be working with Mr. Is it Mix, Jason? Yeah, from Howard Lake, the secondary principal, and I think the other ones' names were Julie and something else. The principals there, yeah. And so that's just one of the changes we've had, that we're trying to do some collaboration and also possibly look at some stuff with speakers and stuff to save some costs on both schools. So these are a few of the things we're trying to work with the local one together so that we can actually have our staff know who they're sharing stuff with, because they do tend to share a lot of stuff, which is great. So what I'm asking to approve is there's 181 days, that's in the master agreement from the contract, there's 181 days in this calendar. There's about 172, we've had 171 and a half, 173 student days depending on the year. There's 172 days in this one for student days. It goes into June this year, the week after, like June 3rd or 4th, I think is when it gets done. Teachers would have an extra day over the students as usual. Otherwise, there's really no major changes. We have not had a spring break for as long as I've been here. There's no change to go in there. We take those 3 days off around Easter. And Christmas would be the other one that you can't see because we'll let me touch it right now.
That's the one that we had confirmed.
Yeah, we're gonna come right after, the first is a Wednesday. They're gonna come back on Thursday, Friday, which is every district in our area has decided to do. Otherwise you'd go even later in June. And that was not favorable by all of us. We kinda agreed with that. Next year, that would probably change though, because next year Christmas and New Year's go to Thursday. And that means it'll be pretty much a full 2-week break no matter what you do. Cause I don't think anybody's coming back for 1 day, so.
So this coming, the 13, 14.
Yes.
When does it break? When do we start the break, do you know?
Oh, in December? Yeah, hold on, I can't.
If he could actually.
Yeah, it's, I mean, it's never, just doesn't like me, it's supposed to
Do
do
you
right.
remember, Carolyn, what we?
25th is a Wednesday this year, so you got 24th, 25th, 20th is the last day, is a Friday. Yeah. So you're talking, what's about 11, 12 day break?
Longer than this year.
Yeah, 1 day longer, so. Yeah, everything just moved up 1 day with not being a leaguer, so there was really no major changes except for we moved conferences up a half hour, and we have a couple shared staff development days, but they don't change anything with the contracts, so. Otherwise, now I gotta figure out what's going on here, cause obviously I have a corrupt file somewhere.
So then, is there anything else you wanna add?
And then I will send you that electronically then tomorrow, so you can take a look at it, so you have a copy of what you approved in the color. I'll send you the color one here, and then that's the one that we put up onto the, after Kim and I do a check, we'll put up on the website, so. No, if you're
Do you have anything else to add since you were at that meeting?
No, I do not.
Can I have a motion? I'll make that a motion. Is there a second to approve this school calendar?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Heigl. Is there any further discussion? No further discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Item D, agenda items for the next board meeting, March 18th, 2013. Any other additional agenda items? Mr. Schmidt, Mr. McDelkey, anything we need to put on there that we're missing?
Shouldn't be anything yet for coming on the surprise. Our budget stuff probably won't happen till April, May, because we gotta wait for legislative to make some decisions, so.
Okay. So our next board meeting will be on March 18th, 2013. Meeting is adjourned, regular school board meeting is adjourned 7:42 p.m.
Did you want to approve those,
Oh, sorry about doing
Oh,
it.
yeah, we can do that. Well, we could do that at our work session too. I mean, whatever you want to do.
You can just go quick reopen and just do it right now.
Okay,
We gotta-
we'll just
'cause
quickly
these guys
reopen
probably
to
wanna go.
approve the minutes from the 9th of January, 2013. You guys have you had a chance to just kind of briefly look over those? Whenever you're ready, if I can have a motion to approve that.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second to approve the board minutes from the 9th of January. Any further discussion? No further discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so we'll call adjournment now at 7:44 p.m. Then you want to take a 5-minute recess before we do a work session?
Yeah.